Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke, and I hope all of you are doing very well today. It is now the middle of January, and the Criterion collection has just made its announcement with respect to its scheduled slate of releases for April 2019. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to share with you my initial thoughts, comments, and reactions to such announcement. So, as you can see, the Criterion collection has announced 6 titles for April 2019, and 2 of them are titles that currently exist in the Criterion collection as DVDs, so these are Blu-ray upgrades, and the other 4 or 5, depending on your point of view, are new titles that are being introduced into the collection. So without further ado, my friends, let's just go over these one at a time, and let's look at them and let's share our initial thoughts and reactions to them accordingly. Paradise is currently a DVD, but this is going to be a Blu-ray upgrade. And as you can see, the cover art is like so, and this is essentially, as far as I can tell, the same cover art as that which dons the current DVD release. So this is just a Blu-ray upgrade, but still welcome, I would say, very much so. And this is Stranger Than Paradise, the Jim Jarmusch film. And so, as we can see here, it looks like there's going to be, let's see, well, it's a high-definition digital restoration, approved and supervised by the director. Then there is the first full-length feature called Permanent Vacation, and Kino 84, Jim Jarmusch, a 1984 German television program, and also Some Days in January 1984. Then US and Japanese trailers, plus a booklet, and let's see, with some notes on Stranger Than Paradise from Jarmusch in 1984, and also essays. So as far as I can tell, I think this is all the same as the DVD. Let me just check. Okay, so here is the DVD, and so the features, special features seem to be the same, except the DVD also indicates location scouting photos, and I don't see any indication of location scouting photos in the description that's given on the Criterion website. So I'm not sure if that is going to be included or not. Only time will tell, I suppose. But everything else, assuming that that's not carried over, everything else seems to be more or less carried over. So this is going to be a nice Blu-ray upgrade. If you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it. It's an early film, obviously, from Jim Jarmusch, and so it might seem a little bit dated. And also, Jarmusch has a very unique style because he's an interesting and unique voice in American independent cinema. But I'm quite astounded as to how well this film holds up, even watching it today. And so it's actually quite refreshing to know just how well this film holds up. So this is really recommended for those of you who haven't seen it. And if you are Blu-ray aficionados, then of course waiting until April will probably be the best way to go. So Stranger Than Paradise, spine number 400. Also made available on April 9th, 2019 is going to be Night on Earth. So this is already in the collection as spine number 400. And so this is going to be a Blu-ray upgrade. Now, as you can see, the cover art appears to be the same. I apologize for the darkness here, but I hope you can see the similarity in cover design, more or less. So we can expect the same or very, very similar cover art. So this is going to be a very nice Blu-ray upgrade in my opinion. So if we look then at the special features, we have the high-definition digital restoration supervised and approved by Jarmusch, selected scene commentary from 2007, and then there's a Q&A with Jarmusch from 2007. Then a Belgian television interview with Jarmusch from 1992. Yes. And then a booklet featuring essays by authors and critics. So it looks as though everything that is on the DVD is being carried over to this new Blu-ray, and that also includes the essay contents. So I can't see anything from the DVD that is missing from the description given by the Criterion collection with respect to this particular title. So this looks to me like a faithful direct port or carryover of the DVD stuff onto the Blu-ray release for April 2019. And again, like Stranger Than Paradise, Night on Earth is a film that I think holds up very well over time. I'm very surprised how well this film has aged. This is from 1991, and so it's from that era of independent American cinema. This was when it was very fresh and low budget and quite exciting, and you had these young voices coming out of what was essentially nowhere and creating these real heartfelt masterworks of American cinema that was on the cutting edge, I think. So this is one of those films for sure, and it has a real nice touch and approach and heartfelt sincerity combined with Jarmusch's undeniable style and tone and sense of humor, which is quite alluring. So I can't wait to see this in the collection. And again, for those of you who haven't seen this film, Night on Earth, I can't wait to hear your reactions if and when you get a chance to see this film on Blu-ray in April. Next, Spy Number 969, scheduled to be released on April 16th, 2019 on U.S. shores. This is Diamonds of the Night by Jan Nemetz. So this is considered to be part of the so-called Czechoslovak New Wave cinema. Jan Nemetz is already in the Criterion collection, as some of you may know, because he has two films, or a film and a bit, I should say. He has a segment in the film Pearls of the Deep, which is included on the Eclipse series, Pearls of the Czech New Wave. And he also has a film that he directed here called A Report on the Party and Guests, which is from 1967. Oh, I'm sorry, 1966. And so here we go. So he's already in the collection, but it's very, how should I put it? This is the one I think that I'm the most excited for, because Jan Nemetz has a very, I think, a very profound voice, and it is quite harrowing and very, how should I put it, has the potential for being, I mean this in a positive way, of course, it has the potential for being quite emotionally devastating. And so I can't wait to see this particular film, Diamonds of the Night, which I have not seen. So I know a little bit about the film, but I don't know the full impact of watching it. So this should be very interesting indeed. And so Diamonds of the Night, and just look at that cover. That cover is just incredibly both lovely and eerie. You know what I mean? It has the perfect balance. And what I want to say also is, just to let you know, according to this, there is going to be a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack for the Blu-ray. And then there's a 2009 interview with director Jan Nemetz. Then there is his 1960 student thesis called A Loaf of Bread. Then there's a short documentary on Arnost Lustig, which is called Arnost Lustig Through the Eyes of Jan Nemetz. This is a documentary from 1993. And there's a new interview with film programmer Irina Kovarova. Then there is a new video essay on the film's stylistic influences by scholar James Quant. and an essay by film critic Michael Atkinson. And so this is very interesting. I should point out, of course, that second run from the United Kingdom is at this point in time scheduled to release a region-free Blu-ray of this film, Diamonds of the Night, by Jan Nemetz. And this is going to be very interesting because actually I'm planning to get that Blu-ray. I don't know when it's going to arrive here in Tokyo, but there are, let's see, as far as the second run release is concerned, that's the, sorry about the blurry image, but that's the cover according to the second run website. And so this is supposed to come out very soon, in a couple days, I think. And according to the second run website, the special features for the second run release are going to be, let's see, a new 4K restoration from original materials by the Czech National Film Archive. So I don't know if this is the same restoration for Criterion or not. That's a question. Could be. And then there's also the what's being described here as being Nemetz's debut short film, A Loaf of Bread. So this is the same as the Criterion, but this is different. On the second run release, there's going to be an audio commentary by film historian Michael Brook. So that's different. There's no commentary on the Criterion release as far as I can tell. There's also, on the second run, a new filmed interview with Eva Lustigova, daughter of author Arnošt Lustig. So that's something that's not on the Criterion release. And then there's a filmed appreciation by Peter Hames and a trailer from 2018, plus a 20-page booklet featuring Michael Brook's substantial essay on the film. So this is, and it says also world premiere on Blu-ray, which I think is accurate given that the second run release is in January and Criterion's release is in April. So this might be an interesting source of well, potentially comparative analysis for those of you who are getting both releases. I think I might be one of those people, and so we'll see what happens. But in any event, this is very good news indeed, and hopefully this is something to suggest more Czech films that will be coming to the Criterion collection. So this is very exciting indeed. You know, this is something that I'm very much excited by because I'm not so good with Eastern European cinema, as some of you may know. Some of you have been very generous in giving me advice and suggestions and recommendations for Czech cinema and for Hungarian cinema and Romanian cinema. And so I know everything is different. I know there are different cultures of cinema going on here, and there are different cultural and historical significant points that are unique to each particular cinema. I can appreciate that on a general level, but in terms of real depth of experience, my own is quite shallow. So I'm very much looking forward to this very much. So Diamonds of the Night. This is scheduled to be released on April 23rd, 2019 as Spine Number 970, A Face in the Crowd. A Face in the Crowd. Now, take a look at this cover. This cover is quite interesting. I'm very moved by this cover. I think this cover is quite alluring. So, so this is the film directed by Ilya Kazan and written by Bud Schulberg. So this should be a really nice, how shall I put it? It's got a great kind of twisted performance by Andy Griffith. So it's kind of it kind of goes against type, so to speak, which is very interesting indeed. And so I think this is one that I think is very popular among Criterion enthusiasts, and I know this film, but not really. So I know this film because I've seen it once before, and I thought it was very quite impressive, of course, but I don't know the film well enough. So this should be something that is an immediate watch for me when it comes to my when it comes in the mail into Tokyo. And here, according to Criterion's site, there are special features which are the new restored 4K digital transfer with uncompressed monaural soundtrack for the Blu-ray. And let's see, a new interview with Ron Briley, author of The Ambivalent Legacy of Elia Kazan. I hope I got that pronounced correct, Ron Briley. Okay. And new interview with Andy Griffith biographer Evan Dalton Smith. Okay. And so also Facing the Past, a 2005 documentary with stars and also screenwriter and film scholars. And a trailer plus an essay by critic April Wolfe and a 1957 New York Times magazine profile of Andy Griffith. So this is going to be, yes, this looks like it's going to be a very popular one. I must admit, I'm not the biggest scholar on Elia Kazan films, to be perfectly honest. So I know them, of course, and I like them very much, but I can't say I'm so in love with them. So this should be a nice opportunity for me to try to remedy that. But and as I say, I've only seen this once, and I liked it, but it hasn't stuck with me yet. So this should be a nice opportunity for me to try to fix that. And so here we go for April, A Face in the Crowd. Next is what is being labeled as a set, and this has two films. So the set is going to look like this. At least the cover of the set is going to look like this. So take a look at this. Jackie Chan, Police Story, and Police Story 2. Now this is very interesting. So this is going to be a box set, I think, or some kind of set. I'm not sure if it's a box set. I should take that back. But it's going to be a set with two films. And as far as I can tell, the set itself does not have a spine number. But if we look at the individual films themselves, we can see that, for instance, Police Story, which is right here. Look at that cover. Isn't that great? That is so wild and so vivid with its colors. I love it. So Police Story from 1985. This is going to be having the spine number 971. So again, the box itself doesn't seem to have its own spine number, but Police Story is going to have its own spine number. So that should be very interesting. And here is Police Story 2, which is going to have spine number 972. So this should be something very interesting indeed. I don't know if you've seen the Police Story films. I know they've been released recently on Eureka Blu-rays. So, and I don't have the set, but I know from people that I am acquainted with that the set is quite spectacular. So I was actually considering getting the set because I love the Police Story films so much, but for whatever reason I held off, and now that Criterion is going to release them in April, I think I'm going to wait for the Criterion releases. Incidentally, as some of you may know, Police Story 3, or otherwise known as Super Cop, was released on a Criterion Laserdisc, and so here is the Criterion Laserdisc of Super Cop. And so in a nice little roundabout way, Criterion seems to be trying to connect with its Laserdisc past, albeit tangentially or indirectly, of course, but still I think the connection can be made. And if, of course, you've got Police Story 2, and then Police Story 3 or Super Cop. So this is a nice continuation. And plus, we also know that Jackie Chan was once in the Criterion collection. So now he is making his great return to the Criterion collection, so to speak, with these great films. So this is a real dynamite announcement from the Criterion collection, in my humble opinion. And if we look here, according to Criterion's site, special features include new 4K digital restorations of Police Story and Police Story 2. Alternate 5.1 surround and English dubbed soundtracks for both films. The Hong Kong release version of Police Story 2, presented in a high-definition digital transfer for the first time. New programs on Jackie Chan's screen persona and action filmmaking techniques, featuring author and New York Asian Film Festival co-founder Grady Hendrix. Archival interviews with Chan and actor and stuntman Benny Lai. Television program from 1964 detailing the rigors of Peking opera training, akin to the education that Chan received as a child. Wow. Chan stunt reel. Wow. Trailers, new English subtitle translation, and more exclamation point. Now, and plus an essay. Now, I wonder what that more exclamation point could mean. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about. See, right there, it says more exclamation point. So, what does that mean, I wonder? Only time will tell, I suppose. But in the meantime, my friends, this is quite an exciting release. I like it because it has a nice, well, it's suggestive of what, well, I should say it's nice. It's always nice to watch a Jackie Chan film. It's always nice to watch a Jackie Chan film. It makes you smile. It makes you laugh. It thrills you. You see Jackie Chan and it's like his only mission in life is to entertain you and put a smile on your face. And so just watching any film of his brings me joy. So to have films, the police story films of all of them, which are just great films, but to have these films in the Criterion Collection, I think is quite a symbolic gesture that is very, that is quite significant in terms of its meaning. So I'm very much looking forward to this. And for those of you who have the Eureka set, I'd be very interested to know what your thoughts on that set are and how you have responded to that and what you think about the Criterion's April release. Are you excited for it or not? And perhaps we might be able to do some kind of comparative analysis when this Criterion release comes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, those of you out there who are the Eureka set owners. This next film here, which is My Brilliant Career, for spine number 973. This is scheduled to be released in North America April 30th, 2019. Judy Davis and Sam Neill. Gillian Armstrong, the filmmaker Gillian Armstrong. I cannot wait to have this in the collection. I've seen this film, and I don't own this film, but I really love this. It's very memorable. As I say, the performances by Judy Davis and Sam Neill are astounding, and I cannot wait to see the reaction of people when they see this. And I think more importantly, Gillian Armstrong as a real cinematic voice. It's splendid news to have Gillian Armstrong in the Criterion Collection in this form. So I cannot wait to hear what the reactions will be, and this is going to be a fantastic. Oh, this cover too! Isn't this cover? It's so evocative, and it's a wonderful encapsulation of Judy Davis's character, and just the, oh gosh, I can't wait! I cannot wait for this. And so the director-approved special edition features include a new 2K digital restoration, approved by director Gillian Armstrong, with uncompressed monaural soundtrack for the Blu-ray. Then there's an audio commentary from 2009 featuring Armstrong, and then a new interview with Armstrong, and also an interview from 1980 with Judy Davis, and also a new interview with production designer and trailer, and an essay by critic Carrie Rickey. So this, and plus an essay. So this is going to be very interesting. I cannot wait for this. My goodness. My goodness. Gillian Armstrong in the collection. That is just amazing. That is really amazing. So that's it. That's going to be spine number 973, and that's the last of the April titles. And so, again, we have the Blu-ray upgrades of Stranger Than Paradise and Night on Earth from Jarmusch. Then we have Diamonds of the Night, Jan Nemitz. Then we have A Face in the Crowd, Elia Kazan. And then we have, of course, Police Story and Police Story 2. the Jackie Chan films, and then we have Gillian Armstrong, My Brilliant Career. And so we've got I think a real mix of variety here. And I'm very impressed with that. You know, I think one of the things I mentioned in a previous or separate video back last year regarding what I wanted to see from Criterion in 2019. One of the things I mentioned, of course, was this notion of variety. You know, it's good to see variety in the collection. I think variety is very important. And of course, variety means different things to different people, depending on one's point of view and depending on one's life experience and the like, and so on. But if we think about variety in a general sense, I think we can see here the upgrades from Jarmusch, which are representative of that 90s or late 80s, early 90s American independent cinema aesthetic. And then we have Gillian Armstrong, a very strong and important cinematic voice out of Australia. And then we have Jackie Chan films, Hong Kong, action martial arts. And then we have Czechoslovak new wave example from Jan Nemetz, Diamonds of the Night. And then, of course, we have Elie Kazan. So I think, of course, it seems to be a little bit American-centric again. 3 out of the 6. But again, at the same time, we do see a new voice, our new voice to Criterion out of Australia. So that's very welcome. And then we see Jackie Chan films, which I think are very welcome. And then we see Czech film, which I think is very welcome as well. I suppose with respect to the Czech film, I think of all the films here, I am most excited for My Brilliant Career and The Police Story and Police Story 2 and Diamonds of the Night. Those 3 or 4, I suppose, are the ones I'm most excited about. And so I suppose with respect to the Czech film, I'm very excited about this. Diamonds of the Night, don't get me wrong. This is one that I can't wait to see. And I'm going to get the second run Blu-ray very soon, so I'll get to see it sooner. And I look forward to that in the coming weeks. But I suppose this reminds me of one of my specific items on my wish list, which I would love to see more other countries in the Eastern European area be represented in the Criterion collection. You know, Romanian films, Hungarian films, more Polish films perhaps. Of course, I think Czech films are still not as represented as they could be in the Criterion collection. So also more Czech films, please. Just because I'm saying these other countries doesn't mean I want to ignore Czech films. On the contrary, I think the more the merrier. And so we have a lovely Czech new wave DVD Eclipse set, of course, but I appreciate the fact that this is only the tip of the iceberg. And for instance, there are more films from Vera Chytilova that I'd love to see in the Criterion collection that aren't here. So, and people always speak of daisies, but I know that there's a whole wealth of filmography out there beyond just that film, which itself is fantastic. So this is all to say that I hope that Diamonds of the Night, while I'm looking forward so much to the title, I hope this is going to be the first of many Czech films, and I hope it's going to be the first of many more films from Eastern Europe and that area, because this is one place where I am very lacking in my own film education, as many of you know. And so I've been relying on the kind recommendations of some of you out there who are experts in the Hungarian cinema and Romanian cinema and Czech cinema and elsewhere. So I look forward to further recommendations from you. And this is my own, I guess, indirect request, I suppose, or reaction, saying that I love Diamonds of the Night, but let's hope that there are more to come. So, and from the rumor mill, it seems like there are going to be more Czech films that are going to be coming, which is on the one hand very great, but on the other hand, it also makes me eager to receive other films from other Eastern European countries. So we'll see what happens as time progresses. But in the meantime, my friends, we can enjoy the selections that will be made for April. Okay, my friends, let me end it there, and let me just ask you, are there any films that you are excited about in particular with respect to the April release schedule plans from Criterion? If so, please let me know. Are there any films that you are really excited for? Do you think maybe that April is, on the contrary, maybe a quote-unquote dull month? Are you maybe lukewarm? Either way, I don't mind. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments and see what you think, because that's part of the fun of this YouTube thing, is to hear your thoughts and your contributions and to get your ideas, because from my point of view, to hear what you have to say is so important and so worthwhile, and it makes this idea of film and movie appreciation, it's not a one-way street. It's everything. Everyone is included in this group, in this community, and so it's great to share with you, and it's great to hear from you, and it's great to learn from you. And I hope to continue that going forward. And with respect to any of these films, if you have anything you want to say, by all means, I would love to hear it. My friends, okay, let me end it there and say thank you very much. And until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well. And please keep watching a lot of great, great films. Until we meet again, my friends. Cheers.